Don't get me wrong, I love being single and I love living alone. It's great, it's fantastic, but fuck, it's expensive. Ah! I just spent $600 on brakes on my car, just on the front part of the car, because I couldn't afford all 4 brakes and axles and rotors and whatever the fuck. And then now I just paid my car payment, which is $500, so I just blew $1,100 in like 3 hours, and it wasn't even like fun, you know? Fuck. Sorry, it's just so overwhelming. Like, you work and 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 you work, and it's just to pay off like your basic necessities. Ah!
They glorified solo life, mocked tradition, and called independence empowerment until reality hit. Rent, bills, and responsibilities don't feel romantic when you're carrying it all alone. Freedom was fun until it became a financial burden. Now, independence feels less like liberation and more like a trap, with loneliness and expenses weighing heavier than the hype ever promised.
I think there are a lot of people out there who think that being a single person is really easy financially because they're like, oh, well, you only have to pay for yourself. And like, wrong. Yeah, I do only have to pay for myself, which means I have to pay for my rent entirely by myself. I don't split it with a partner. My council tax bill, even though there's only one person, is only discounted by 25%. So if you're splitting your bill down the middle with a partner, I'm still paying more than you individually. My energy bills, yeah, okay, I pay less than you, but I'm not paying half because most of that cost is a standing charge. If I want to go on holiday, I have to pay for the room or the cabin entirely by myself. If I want to get a mortgage, I have to have a bigger deposit, and I can't get approved to borrow as much because I only have one income. Like, financially, is really, really difficult to be a single person, and I think more people need to remember that when they're talking to their single friends.
Independence was the anthem, the dream, the flex, until the bills landed. Now it's endless complaints, playing the victim for choices they bragged about. Freedom isn't free, it comes with full responsibility. You wanted autonomy? Own the cost, don't cry about the consequences. Independence means accountability, not selective convenience.
Do y'all ever think about how much harder it is to function in society as a single person than as a person part of a couple? Right? Like, a single person and a couple both only need a 1-bedroom apartment. But when you're splitting it between 2 people, it's way more affordable. The single person is paying twice as much as either of the individuals in the couple. And then the same thing goes for shit like internet, cable. It's not like the couple is getting more or less. It's the same amount. It's just you have someone helping you pay for it. And then you take into consideration the fact that married people get special tax breaks that none of the rest of us get. And then you especially take into consideration the fact that minimum wage used to be able to support an entire family of 4, and now it can't support a single person.
I don't need a man quickly flips into, why is everything so expensive alone? Once rent, bills, and reality stack up, independence sounds empowering until the price tag shows up.
I often do videos talking about the fact that I'm 39, single, and happy, but today I wanted to tell you about the worst thing about being single. Gotta keep it real, it's not always easy. So yeah, the worst thing about being single is dun, dun, dun! Finances. I have to pay for everything myself. There is no one to share a single bill with. But I'm being serious. Mortgage or rent, bills, food, everything. I get to share costs with nobody.
You wanted solo living, no compromises, no accountability, just freedom. Now reality hits. Independence comes with a steep price tag. Bills don't care about your I don't need anyone mantra. Freedom isn't free, and that fierce independence won't cover rent or ease the burden of going it alone.
Why isn't anybody talking about the single tax? It is significantly more expensive to be single, to the point that it's like economically irresponsible to cook when you're single. It costs $75 to make a meal, not to mention the cost of running the dishwasher, washing up all of the pots and pans. And then what am I going to do? Eat lasagna for 6 days? When I could use Uber Eats and one of their various codes each week to get a salad for $9. Imagine paying half your rent because you share your apartment with somebody, half your electricity bills, half your cable, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix subscriptions. When you're going to the airport on a trip, you don't have to pay $70 for an Uber by yourself because you're splitting it with somebody. Forget saving money on a Costco membership. When am I ever going to use 36 apples? It's honestly the only argument I have for getting in a relationship. It is expensive to stay single. Just imagine if there were no more single people. The food and beverage industry would just collapse.
They screamed independence for years, but now reality checks in. Being single is expensive, and couples split the load. Suddenly, independence feels unfair. Funny thing? You'll never see men whining about this, only women regretting the cost of flying solo.
It is so expensive to be single and to pay for all of these expenses by yourself. For context, I do live in the Bay Area, so it is hella expensive to live here, but this is essentially how much I pay in a month by myself. Close to $4,000 if I'm lucky. And again, it's not that I can't pay for these things, because obviously I'm out here living and thriving and a little hungry, but it's fine. However, it's usually the things that I don't account for on the monthly that internally kills me. Like, for example, emergencies. Y'all, it's not only costly, but the emotional expense to doing it by yourself is oh.
Men live, work, and handle responsibilities without whining, yet women complain about the bare minimum required for independence. Thriving shouldn't come with constant complaints, but here they are, struggling with their own choices, unable to manage themselves. Accountability isn't optional, it's adulthood, and men don't get sympathy for basic survival.
Teaching kids about misogyny and incel culture is one thing. You know what I think they need to start teaching in schools? That yes, you can have a partner and whatever, but if you ever choose to be alone, if you ever want to respect yourself and not just settle for bare minimum, if you want to release yourself from a toxic relationship, it will be very, very liberating, but very, very expensive. I have lived through the most liberating, amazing, culturing, wonderful experience the past, goodness me, what, 5 years, God. And that's not 5 years single, I've not been 5 years single, but 5 years not living with a man. And it's been amazing, but it's been so expensive.
They call independence amazing, yet can't stop whining about how expensive it is. Autonomy comes with responsibility. You wanted the freedom, now pay the bill. If this life was truly so fulfilling, there'd be no need for constant complaints. The contradiction is obvious. Glorify independence in public, cry about the costs in private. Turns out, empowerment isn't as glamorous when reality sends the invoice.
Got another complaint about late-stage capitalism, specifically about being a single woman, which I do recognize that we can't romanticize the past here all the time, because women couldn't even own their own credit card until the 70s. The fight for independence and autonomy and respect as a single woman in particular, so it's such a fucking uphill battle. And one of those things is the fact that those hidden costs, I guess I could say, is that I have never had a wedding shower, any sort of shower. Every single thing I've had to buy myself, and everything breaks.
Welcome to a man's daily reality. Things cost, things break, and no one's coming to save you. Women only notice now because they're forced to handle it alone. They crave single life perks, but reject the responsibility that comes with it. That's not empowerment. It's pure delusion wrapped in entitlement and complaints.
I feel like nobody's talking about this, so I am going to. Why is this that being single is actually so expensive? I have signed up for every hobby you could think of, I have gone on yoga retreats. I have signed up for surfing. I have signed up for pottery, hot yoga, hot Pilates, sitting at coffee shops. I physically have been trying to pour into my cup and fill up my free time, but I didn't know how expensive that this was going to be. And I physically and financially can just not anymore. I don't know what else to do. I can't believe that this is what life has come to.
Exactly. She exposed the truth. Women want their cups overflowing, but prefer using someone else's wallet to do it. Now faced with the reality of funding their endless desires alone, they crumble. Independence sounded great until self-sufficiency demanded consistency, discipline, and sacrifice. Suddenly, the strong facade doesn't look so strong anymore.
I'm learning that the hardest thing about being single is needing two incomes to survive in this economy. Living off one income is impossible. And so with that said, if anybody with two jobs is looking for a partner, let me know.
If you really thought she meant her own income, the joke's on you. She's not talking about teamwork, sharing, or building together. She wants a man to carry the full load while she coasts. No splitting, no compromise, just entitlement disguised as standards. God bless the poor guy who falls for that trap.
I definitely think there is a singles tax. It's much more expensive to be single than to be in a relationship.
If you're single and living alone, you don't get the economies of scale. So instead of having a partner to split expenses with, you cover everything yourself.
I'm doing all of this by myself. I'm paying the entire rent, the bills. She's like, if I had a boyfriend, it's like giving yourself a double pay rise. It's like doubling your money because you're halving your expenses.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's true. It does cost a hell of a lot of money to be single.
The single tax.
The single tax. Yes, I love it.
They shout independence but still want a man to split rent and bills. How convenient. Strong and single by slogan, yet secretly craving the comfort of a double paycheck. It's not empowerment, it's selective responsibility. Modern boss babes want cake, eat it too, and then blame men for the crumbs left behind.
If you're single, it comes with a hidden price tag, the singles tax, and you're paying for it in every aspect of life. Let's do the math. Housing. In this economy, the median rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the United States is $1,876 a month, not including utilities. Sure, you can get a roommate who eats all your food and never cleans up after themselves, but at that point, you may as well just be in a soul-sucking relationship and pay half the rent. So that's not an option. Food! Yes, we purchase less groceries, but Big Grocery does not proportion their goods for those of us living the bachelor lifestyle. If I want fresh Brussels sprouts, I can't just buy a few Brussels sprouts. I have to buy like 30 Brussels sprouts, but I don't need 30 Brussels sprouts. So either you end up with wasted food and wasted money, or I have to eat Brussels sprout all week, much to the dismay of my digestive system. Leisure. If the group chat is going on vacation, either you have to buy a whole hotel room or you've got to split it with the other token single on the trip because the singles have to be quarantined in one room because being single is contagious. Now add all that together, minusing the 0 tax breaks we get, and it equals too much. Yes, the cost of being single is high, but remember, you can't put a price tag on your peace. So foot the bill until you find someone who adds to your life, not detracts from it. Hope this helps.
She's not after peace. She's after perks. She craves the image of independence but whines about the bills and loneliness that come with it. It's not that single life is unbearable. It's that she wants luxury without sacrifice. The truth? She doesn't want true independence. She wants freedom when it's fun, support when it's hard, and zero accountability either way.
She's broken, but you can't fix her. Third wave feminism, single-parent household, social media, and woke Hollywood indoctrination have damaged her idea of reality. Modern feminism is teaching women to dislike anything masculine. Anything male becomes toxic. In the old days, women loved being called feminine. It was a compliment, and they appreciated gender differences. Nowadays, they're trying to destroy gender differences, and the ones they can't, they call toxic. Single mom's bitterness towards her baby daddy influences her and her daughter's opinion of all men. In the old days, only the really bad dads weren't invited to be a part of his kid's life. Nowadays, But even the good dads are having restricted access to their kids. So he's not even able to have a positive influence on his daughter's life.
Modern feminism and woke culture twisted masculinity into something toxic while stripping femininity of its value. Women once honored men's roles, but now they attack them, leaving families fractured. Many come from single-parent chaos, carrying bitterness that poisons daughters against men. Even good fathers get sidelined, erased from their children's lives. It's not empowerment, it's a destructive cycle that wrecks relationships and breeds generations of brokenness.
You're aiming for the top 1%, but the top 1% of men ain't aiming for you. This is the reason why women are single. Like, they don't align their expectations. They look at this perfect picture, and then they go, that's what I want. And it's okay, like we all want something amazing.
We have a fantasy in mind.
Right, but then anything that doesn't fit that picture is ignored. Then you get too fucking old, and nobody wants your ass at all. Like, at all. At that point, by the time you lower your standard, you're like, hey, now it would take a fat guy that's this, doesn't have a college degree, makes 50 grand a year, just to not be alone.
And settle.
Yeah, and that fucking guy at that point still don't want you. So if you're aiming at the top 1%, then ask yourself, are you the top 1%? Are you really in that category to be asking that?
Here's the circus. When they want a man, he's got to be 6'4", six-pack, six figures, emotionally fluent and rich. But when they don't have one, suddenly it's rents so high, single life is unfair. You can't demand the top 1%, then cry about solo struggles like oppression. Reality's knocking. Prince Charming isn't showing up, and no, Brussels sprouts aren't the real problem here.
So I'm 32 and single. I know, right, girl? Can you believe it? And with that, people ask me all the time how being an independent woman has impacted my dating life. And it's just enhanced what I already knew, which is that some men are intimidated by independent women. I can't tell you how many men just assume that I'm using men for money simply because I have a nice place. I've even been dumped for it. But these aren't men, they're boys. And I know one day my man is gonna love the fact that I can hold my own. And if any boy acts up, at least you can tell him to get the fuck out of your apartment.
So you're independent. Great. Odds are you'll stay that way. Most single men these days also choose to remain single, avoiding unnecessary drama. Men aren't fooled by the act. They see through it. Independence isn't unattractive. It's just not enough to earn genuine partnership anymore.
Continue to attract people who don't ever want commitment. They just want to be casual.
You're not the only one, and it turns out there's a scientific reason why dating is harder and nobody wants to commit these days. This is a famous study on choice versus desire. It's known as the jam testing experiment. A first group of people were given 24 types of jams to test, and the other one only 6. To everyone's surprise, it turns out that the group that had the most options were 10 times less likely to purchase a product. And furthermore, the group that had less options were much more likely to be satisfied with their choice. Now this makes so much sense when it comes to dating now that we have all of these options. Before the internet, you maybe had only 6 different partners to choose between. Our monkey brains were never designed to have hundreds of potential matches to choose between. So we just freeze, we can't make a decision. People have dating FOMO, they constantly think that there's someone better out there that they're missing out on. All of this to say, you're not the only one, and if you think dating is harder these days, it's because it is.
Modern dating is chaos because endless options kill commitment. With swipe culture, everyone's hunting for the next best thing, too entitled or scared to settle. Our brains weren't built for infinite choice. It paralyzes us. So people chase upgrades instead of loyalty, leaving genuine relationships to rot.
Being single, I'd argue, is more expensive than being in a relationship. Guys always complain, I spend so much money on my girlfriend. I'm like, you don't know what it's like to be at a bar ordering drinks.
I agree that being single is way more expensive than being in a relationship. Because I turn into a grub when I'm in a relationship. Yeah. I'm like, you chose this life. You know? And then when I'm single, I'm like, I have to like keep up with appearances and look nice.
Well, you're always at parties.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
Like always drinking and you paid for the tickets. Now you got to impress people. Now you're drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you're drunk, you don't make sound financial decisions.
No, you don't.
It's a full-time job and it's extremely time-consuming and it's not as easy as it may appear to some people.
When men are single, they build money, muscles, and mindset. Discipline drives them. When women are single, it's brunches, retail therapy, and complaints about expenses. They call it independence, but live like spendthrifts, then cry about costs. Singleness isn't the issue, their lifestyle is. Men use solitude strategically, women dramatize it as suffering. No sympathy when your boss babe era drains your wallet and exposes how independence feels without male provision.
Is dating today, in your opinion, harder than it's ever been?
I was friends with my boyfriend before we started dating, and I feel like that's a more natural transition than like seeing features on your screen and trying to make a decision based on like a list of things.
People just try and avoid things because I think they're scared to say things straight up.
One red flag and you're kind of like, oh, I could go find somewhere else. You don't need to have one person when you could have like 5.
Honestly, I don't know. I've had really bad luck. So everything. Like, I've been treated like shit.
I think a big part of it is because of social media.
People see a lot, they are exposed to a lot. They're always looking for better.
Everyone is always looking for the best thing, and they always think something else is around the corner, and you almost have too much access to too many people.
Modern dating is wrecked by hookup culture and endless swiping. Apps and social media turn people into disposable profiles, judged on surface flaws. Loyalty and depth are replaced by impulsive what's next thinking. It's no longer about connection, it's shopping. In the process, good men and real relationships are discarded for cheap temporary thrills.
I think that there is an anti-dating culture at the moment.
Okay.
I think that men and women are being encouraged to be treated as adversaries, not as equals.
I think it's transactional today. I think it's easy today. Whatever's too easy to come, you devalue it. My era, you had to court. You had to have scripts. You had to build relationship. You had to follow up. We had MySpace. The last time I was single, there was MySpace. I DM'd my wife on MySpace. Eventually, we're in Palm Springs for the first time. She's single. I'm single. We go on a date. There's magic. She goes home. The next day, I take her. We go do stairs in Santa Monica. We go to church. We go to Earth Cafe in Santa Monica. Then we go to Borders. I buy her a book on our second date called 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged. On our second date, she's like, what's this? I said, I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I'm looking for a wife. I'm 28 at the time. I said, I know exactly what I want. I've already done this exercise with 3 other girls. If you want to go through it, great. You need to answer the questions. Let's meet up when you're ready and let's go through it. Week later, 6 hours at her place, one by one, each question we go through. I said, this is somebody I can date. And by the way, it's ugly because you got to talk about everything in a book. That's not it anymore.
Modern dating is fast, shallow, and empty. Swiping, ghosting, and endless options killed commitment. The second things get real, people run, choosing dopamine over devotion. Depth has been traded for convenience, courtship for quick thrills. Relationships now feel like disposable trends, leaving everyone emptier than before. It's not love anymore, it's fast food romance, consumed quickly and discarded just as fast, with no substance to sustain it.
How old are you?
24.
What's been your experiences so far dating-wise?
In New York, more people here I feel like are into hooking up than relationships. I've been on like dates and stuff, but a lot of people tend to do one-night stands and hook up, go to bars, maybe hook up with someone there, but I don't. I'm content doing my own thing. For me right now, my main priority is just like school and, you know, trying to get my career going. But obviously, like being in a relationship would be nice, I think, yeah.
What do you look for in a woman?
As long as the girl is well-educated, as long as she's well-educated, she has a really good personality. Obviously, I mean, initial attraction does matter, and people who are going to say that it doesn't matter, like, they're lying to themselves.
And what's been some things that women do in general that piss guys off dating-wise?
I think you take them on a date, and they want to go somewhere really lavish. You have to be a gentleman. The guy has to pay on the first date. But then, like, either you get ghosted right after that, or, like, you're just not going to hear back for, like, weeks. And it's just, like, to the point where it's like, then why did we go in the first place, you know?
This shows why dating frustrates good men today. They invest time, effort, and money, planning dates, showing respect, doing everything right, only to get ghosted or used for free meals and attention. Too many women treat dating like a transaction instead of connection, leaving men who genuinely seek love feeling drained, rejected, and questioning if real commitment even exists anymore.
I think modern dating is really good if you want to get divorced one day. I think it's absolute crap if you actually want to have a healthy marriage.
How so?
Because we're treating other people like they're commodities. We're treating their other people like they're things that we try on for a little bit of time and hope it fits. And maybe if it does, great. And nobody should care about the 40 other people you tried on before they got there. Newsflash, people care. Unfortunately, there's a movement that try to tell, well, it's different for men. It may be different for men in the way that we process things differently from women. That doesn't make it moral. It doesn't make it right. It negatively affects us in different ways than it might negatively affect women, but that doesn't mean that it's positive or it's okay. How do you find the sort of woman that you want to marry? Well, first of all, ask yourself this question. Are you worthy of her? Spiritually, physically, intellectually, emotionally, professionally. Start working on those things. at the same time that you're actually going out into the environments where you are most likely to find the sort of woman that you actually want to build a family with.
Swipe culture, hookups, and endless options make loyalty a myth. People act disposable, pasts haunt futures, and commitments become a joke until the divorce papers arrive and reality crashes down. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.